everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is on my everyday puppy makeup look. This gives off a gentle, innocent vibe, mimicking a cute puppy feel. To learn how to get this look, keep on watching. I'm going to start off with my skincare and I'm going to put some of this Innisfree moisturizer. This is like a jelly type cream, so it's super lightweight. It doesn't leave like that heavy residue. Let's put on some primer, my go-to Porefessional. For the base, I'm gonna do a super light, natural base. I still want my skin to kind of shine through, so it doesn't feel too heavy. Going in with concealer, my go-to, which is the SAEM concealer. I'm gonna put it under my eyes, the high points of my face. Then blend out with a beauty blender. To create like an even glow and canvas, I'm gonna use the Tilbury Flawless Filter, and then this just adds a bit more like of a all-round coverage and a nice dewy kind of finish. I kind of treat this as like a BB cream, just that topper to kind of blend all of my concealer together and not have that heavy kind of feeling, but still adds a bit of color and coverage. For this makeup look, I'm gonna keep it matte. I feel like that looks best for this puppy makeup look. Gives that more like soft puppy finish. I'm using the CANMAKE powder. Let's come back to the face and move on to the eyes. I'm gonna first start by filling in my brows with the CANMAKE brow pencil. And especially for this look, I do this normally as my everyday makeup, but to emphasize like the puppy makeup look, I like to straighten up my brows here, and I like to not do any harsh arches. So I kind of like soften and straighten out like this area, so I'll fill that in the fronts, and then any arches here I kind of straighten out and fill it in so it's more of just like a straight kind of block. And then I would extend the tail to kind of go up a little bit, more like a straight line instead of arching it downwards. And of course keeping it as natural as possible depending on your eyebrow shape, but the main goal is to not create sharp edges and just softening it all out. And this is like the perfect thing for it because it acts like a powder but in a pencil form. It doesn't have to be like perfectly carved out, it can just be roughly filled in. Okay, for the eyes, I like to curl my lashes first because it helps guide the wing of my eyeliner, kind of having that vision of where my lashes naturally curl, makes it easier to extend that outward. So let's curl the lashes. I love curling my lashes. It makes me a different person. Like, I don't think I would be able to live without curling my lashes. Well, I would, but it brings me a lot of joy to curl my lashes. But I know I'm beautiful with or without curled lashes. So to start off this whole puppy liner eye makeup, first we're gonna go in with the CLIO pencil liner, and it needs to be in the choco brown shade. It needs to be brown. It must. This is what I like to do first. Make sure you have a angled brush starting from the outer of your lashes not completely down, but kind of like a straight direction. So starting from the outer lash line, you're going to just do a natural kind of light stroke on the end, and it's just a few strokes. Then getting the brush, kind of blending it out, kind of softening the edges, and then bringing the product inside the rest of the lash line. That's like the main kind of vision of the liner. I like to add more product and connect it to the rest of the lash line, adding the liner all around here and kind of waterlining it too. So that creates a really nice, like, deep, natural definition and adds depth to the eyes. Going in with some brown shadow, and I'm using the Remand palette, grabbing like a mixture of these two shades, but mostly the darker one. Add this to where I applied the pencil liner, and then just straightening out any harsh edges, making sure there's no arches. And then I'll add the rest to my whole lash line. So layering like shadows with pencil liners really helps the eyeshadow and the eye makeup stay on a lot longer, and it just increases the smudge proofness of just the whole eye makeup. It really prevents it from budging and wearing and fading away. So after that, to add definition to the liner and then just kind of cleaning it up, I'm gonna use this brown Dolly Wink liner, just a liquid liner, and I'm gonna draw a thin line at the bottom here and then bring slightly, just slightly, connecting it to the rest of the eye. Adding a bit more of the shadow to soften up any harsh edges. And then to kind of diffuse any liquid liner, between the liquid liner and the shadow here, I like to go in with the pencil again and then blend this out right on the edge of the liner. After that, well, let's do the under eye shadow. So to emphasize the aiguille sole, I'm going to grab these two brown shades, lightly define the line here, that eye fat. To add a bit more ashiness and that kind of shadow tone, if it's too warm, I like to get the Full Shot Hidden Contour. And this just has really nice ashy grey real shadow shades. So I like to go in with this after to kind of make it a bit more cool toned. But I have to go in with the Remand one because if I just go with this on its own, it looks a bit dull and not as pigmented. To add a base for the brightener shade under the eye, I'm going to go in with the Peripera Duo Eye Stick with the plain brightener side. This will just act as a blank canvas and kind of like a primer for my shimmer shadow. So just filling in the space between. So now for the shimmer shade, my favorite shade to apply under my eyes is this one right here. It's like a really pretty gold champagne-y shimmer, and it's like really fine as well, so it's not too chunky. So I grab some of that with the kind of mini pointy brush and pack it on under here. Doing it in like pressing motions makes the product deposit more nicely and more pigmented. If I was to swipe it, then it wouldn't create as much of the pigment. To create a bit more definition for the under eye, getting a really thin liner brush, and then I'm going to grab the last two shades, just a super light amount. I like to test on the back of my hand to make sure it's not too harsh. I kind of add some definition to the lower lashes and then lightly just drag it outward towards my winged liner. And I like to keep the brush super like flat, as close to the face as possible instead of kind of going from this way. So this just helps create that nice super light shadow. I will go in just a tad bit with the white beige shade here and just place this right under the liner. A bit here to clean up that shadow. I'm gonna recurl the lashes so it's just extra plump and lifted. Mascara done. I'm gonna do my other eye. Now that the eyes are done, let's move on back to the face. I'm gonna use the contour powder. I love it how this isn't too warm, so it acts like an actual shadow, like a real contour powder, not just a bronzer. Then I add a bit to my nose. And now for blush, I'm going in with the MAC Gingerly. So this is like a matte mauvey kind of shade. I think it suits perfectly well with the puppy makeup look because it's very like soft, a soft pinky brown. And I'm just gonna place this at the very fronts of my cheek. So it gives that cuter effect. I like to just pack it, and then I like to kind of add a bit like near my nose kind of bridge. So it's more of a subtle, like natural flush. And I don't like to drag the blush up for this look. I like to kind of make it like a straight, diffuse kind of application. To add a bit of sheen, I'm going to use the CANMAKE blush in number 16. It's like a purpley shade with a bit of glow. Can't forget the nose blush. A bit to the nose bridge. So for highlighter, add some on the nose. I'm using my favorite one, which is the CANMAKE. A fan brush and just gonna place this on the cheekbones. So now for the lips, I'm gonna lip line with MAC's Strip Down. And I'm gonna go in with this Into matte lip kind of tint. It's in the shade Espresso, and this is just gonna add some depth and a bit of color to the lips. I'm gonna focus it on the center. To bring the whole lip color together, I'm gonna use this lip tint by Peripera. This is the Ink Velvet in shade 22. So I'm gonna focus this on the outside of my lips rather than the center. And I also like to get a brush. This is just like a little fluffy blending brush, and then soften out the edges. And there you go. That's the lip color and the entire look. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I hope you guys all enjoyed and learned how to do this puppy daily makeup. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and the rest of the week. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.